Hello and welcome to We're Watches. This is The Green Knight. So I know this is directed by David Lowery. I've heard a lot of good things about this, and he's also directed a few things that I've been interested in. A Ghost Story, which I'd really wanted to see, I just never got around to it. Hopefully I can watch that at some point as well. Then he also did Pete's Dragon, which is kind of the complete opposite vibe, I guess. Something a bit more child friendly. I have seen that, but I imagine this is very far removed from that. I know this is kind of medieval England, I think it's something to do with King Arthur, but it's kind of got fantasy elements also in there. I don't know if this is going to have the whole if this is like a retelling of the Excalibur story or if it's something else. I don't know. I don't know if Dev Patel is supposed to be playing King Arthur or if he's playing a different character. I've heard this is quite weird, so I'm kind of prepared for that. And I know, it's not for everyone, so I'm imagining maybe some bits are a bit slow and there's a few things that are probably up for interpretation, so I'm kind of prepared for that anyway. So before we get into this, be sure to check out the Patreon. Over there you can get early access, where you can get the Royal Tenenbaums and the Mitchells versus the Machines right now. You can also find full-length timer-based reactions, where you just sync up your own footage, and polls, so you can vote for what's next. So yeah, let's just jump into The Green Knight.
None had renown like the boy who pulled sword from stone.
Okay, pulled sword from stone, yeah?
But this is not that king.
Okay, so he is someone different. Oh, wow.
Tell you instead a new tale.
Is this a completely original story then? It said, let me tell you a new story. Is it, related to King Arthur, but it's, an original story? That was some cool imagery, the crown, and there's a green crown as well falling onto his head and then in just, setting a light. It looked like he had the crown jewels in his hand as well. I like that, using the water drop to build tension. Oh, is it a brothel?
You a knight yet?
What?
You a knight yet?
Okay, so is he trying to become a knight? Is the Green Knight his title? That's gonna be his title?
I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready.
So it's he wants to be a knight but hasn't actually go through the training or the procedure that he needs, He's not ready to actually do what it takes. Love the yellow robe. I don't know, is it a robe or a scarf or something? The contrast in the colour there is great. Everyone else is wearing really muted colours and he's got this super vibrant yellow. Sir Gawain. Yeah, I've heard that name before. Is that him?
You? At mass?
Yeah.
Got no guts for merriment this year.
But it's Christmas.
Oh, it's Christmas. Okay, that explains the crest is born bit. Oh, this is the big round table. Okay, so up to something like a ritual. She had these two photos of the king and queen, and I'm assuming that's King Arthur because that's the round table. The mother's performing some ritual to do with King Arthur. These crowns are really cool. They have with that kind of halo behind them.
Bring young Garwin here.
Garwin, not Gawain. Garwin. Okay.
Sit here, besides us.
That is not my place.
Let it be today. Owner is away.
Taking the place of the prince for today.
Family, by what side?
Okay, so they're family. He's related somehow.
I recognize, but I do not know thee. I say this not in reproach, but regret.
Okay. Get to know family better.
Tell me a tale of yourself, so that I might know thee.
Does he not really have any notable events or tales?
I have none to tell.
Yet. You have none to tell yet.
Yeah. Good mentality to have.
So who else, then?
He's his mum might be betraying the king somehow. If the prince is away and the king and the queen die, does Gawain get the role? Because he'd be the next in king, I guess his mother would. Unless he has any other siblings. Even the king and queen, they look like they're slightly older, like in the makeup, just from the few shots before. It might be the lighting or something.
So a tale, or so, perhaps.
But they look like paler, and the bags around their eyes look a bit more visible, kind of thing. It's like a tree person. Oh wow, that lighting change was really cool. So there's definitely like mystical and mythological things here as well. It's not just regular humans. Oh, he's just delivering the letter. Yeah, they just look more sickly. I don't know. It seems like something's changed. Or maybe I just didn't notice before.
Indulge me in this friendly Christmas game.
He's like speaking through her.
Should he land a blow, then 1 year and Yuletide hence, he must seek me out yonder. I will return what was given to me. Who is willing to engage with me?
Okay. So they have to find him a year later and fight again. Is it like an equal exchange? Like if you just cut him, he'll just cut you later? Or was it he can attack you in any way he'd like? And what if they fail to actually land a blow on him? Because it said like if you land a blow. Can he like not talk? He has to talk through someone.
I will do it.
Okay. This is like his call to action.
I will meet thee.
And if he wins, was it he gets his like axe? He said his right arm, but he was holding the axe in his arm.
Remember, it is only a game.
Okay. That's like the terminology of it being a game. It means something significant then.
I need a sword.
Darren.
Just got chills. The music there. Is that Excalibur? I saw it sitting beside the king before. Oh wow. Is that just a camera angle? Is he like really tall? So he is the Green Knight. Oh, he's just gonna let him land the blow.
Make a move or I shall make mine. Stand up and face me!
Is that the challenge? Facing someone unarmed? Because that would seem unhonourable, you know?
What do you expect me to do?
Just give him a small nick on the arm or something. Oh, does he want him to behead him? He's like taunting him.
Upon this Christmas day!
So part of the ritual was to do with her as well. Did she know that Gawain was going to be the one who offered himself up? Oh, but if in a year's time he needs to return, does that mean that the Green Knight will try and behead him as well?
1 year hence.
I feel like that might have been a test of honor because the only thing was he needed to land a blow. It could have been just like a little nick or something, couldn't it? Oh, they're creating a mural of him. In the painting, he's much more regal than he appears in real life.
With his own axe, he lopped off the giant's head.
Yeah, so everyone thinks he did it with the axe. Yeah, so he's not exactly the most honourable knight. Oh, is that snowfall signifying that winter's coming again? It's nearly his time to go back. You know, he's not even a knight, is he? He's just a drunk, really. He should have spent this year training, you know?
Like 2/3.
Yeah, he's really aging, isn't he? Doesn't have long left.
Why hold me to this light?
Is it wrong to want greatness for you?
Yeah, he said before he has no stories to tell. This can be his story. He wasn't even telling the story of the Green Knight and how he played the game. But the story's like not complete.
You have mud on your face.
The symbolism here, the king performing a task for someone, you know.
Your 5 senses sharp. May her 5 joys inspire you.
Noticing this star symbol a lot. It was on the floor of the round table and all everyone's necklaces. Is it just symbolism for the king? For like his kingdom?
Are you really going to go? I like your head better where it is.
I made a covenant.
Yeah, he needs to do it.
Silly men.
Oh, how brave men become great.
Why greatness? Why is goodness not enough?
There wasn't really a anything saying if he didn't show up what would happen, you know? Would the Green Knight return to kill the king or something? Because the game was kind of with the king. It was, give me one of your men.
Do not waste this.
The journey out. I like these title cards. They're kind of oddly modern, just in the way they're presented. Like, of course, the font is very medieval and rustic, but it's kind of just a flat colour on top, you know?
You may have my ear and my hand and heart,
Is he, like, not ready for the commitment?
and you my queen,
He just
my lady.
kind of wants to stay where he is in perpetuity. He doesn't want anything to change. But then he also longs for this adventure and stories to tell, perhaps, to kind of prove himself. A kindness. So it is kind of breaking it up into chapters.
Who are you? Just a traveller friend.
That's Barry Keoghan, right? I knew he was in this, actually. Yeah, I'd heard he was in this.
Why weren't they buried?
All dead. All dead.
Is he just like scavenging all of their belongings?
You know, if it weren't for my ma, I'd have been here. I would have been here. I'd have been here too.
He seems very emotional. He was super happy right at the start, and then he's flipped to super sad, and now he's flipped straight back to happy. He's a bit crazy.
That's a nice axe you got. You do some fighting with that axe?
Here and there.
Here?
Here, I'm just passing through.
This way. Past the field where the forest meets.
I will seek it out. My thanks to you.
And my directions not worth anything to you.
My thanks.
He wanted some payment for it.
Not worth anything to you? Small act of kindness. Because it gets tricky.
Okay, a bit ominous. This is just going to be a series of people he runs into throughout the journey.
Hello.
No.
Was he being led here by that previous guy? The scavenger?
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
I'm glad he has more of a role.
Tweren't enough. Just tweren't enough. Yeah.
Oh, he's got that belt that was like enchanted, wasn't it?
Is there really a chapel?
You're in it.
I like his like costume design. He had all of these bags kind of hanging off of him, and the way he walked, it was kind of like goblin-y. I don't know, very low down, wasn't he? Are they gonna realize the axe had like powers because the axe it grew plants before, didn't it? I don't know if because it's been separated from the Green Knight, if it still has those powers.
I'll finish your quest for you.
He doesn't even know what the quest is, though. Is this just like a vision, a dream? A nightmare that he's having? He's kind of got plants growing out of him. It's kind of, it went round the other way and now it's coming back. Yeah, I think that was kind of him finding his motivation, not wanting to die there. Or making his way to the sword so he can get himself out. I mean, he got his yellow robe, so that's all that matters. Oh, it looks like he might be lost in the forest now. I'm surprised he didn't take any of their swords, anything that was left. So if that scavenger guy is going to complete his quest, he's just gonna die. It's not gonna end up well for him, is it?
What are you doing in my bed?
I'm very sorry. I did not see you. I thought there was no... I did not mean to offend thee.
Wait. Did my father send for you?
No.
That's Aaron Kellyman, isn't it?
I do not know you.
Oh, is he just heading home, or is that just, you know, a lie?
And you've lost your way. I've lost something as well.
Oh, is she a ghost?
What is it I'm looking for?
My head. The Lord came seeking shelter like thee. Was he?
No.
You certain?
Noticing there's like this green light coming from behind the cabin.
I tried to flee, but he cut off my head. He threw it in the spring, and now, try as I might, I cannot get at it.
Is it finding the head will create that kind of closure and let her pass on to the afterlife?
Are you a spirit?
What is the difference? I just need my head.
As will I before the year is out.
Yeah, there's definitely some symbolism here. You know, two characters both being beheaded. He's helping return her head.
What would you offer me in exchange?
Why would you ask me that?
Shouldn't expect something in exchange. I thought there might be something with the water, like it stings you, or it's like acid, or there's something in the water like a creature. That could still be the case though. Sudden change to red. Oh, is the fox her? Like her spirit is in that fox. So we saw that fox earlier. Is that fox kind of leading him to his adventure? Oh, and he can return, yeah. Return the skull to the rest of.
Now I can see thee, and I will strike thee down with every care I have for thee.
Oh.
Green Knight is someone you know.
The Green Knight is someone you know. Does she mean that it's because he knows who the Green Knight is? Or does she mean is that kind of like a warning that the Green Knight is someone you know, like the Green Knight is his mother, because his mother, she was doing all of that ritual before the Green Knight came, and she was the one who wrote that letter that the Green Knight gave. Is that what she means by that? Oh, and the axe has been returned to him. How has the axe been returned to him though? Is it because he got her head, she returned it to him? Or has the scavenger died and lost it somehow? Is that a skeleton? It's like a rib cage. It looks like something moved as well. Like a giant's skeleton. These big sweeping vistas are great. Mushrooms, but who knows if they're safe to eat. They could lead to a hallucination. Okay, yeah, they just weren't edible. He's seeing a vision of the Green Knight. The lightning effect is super cool and menacing here. And there's like this green lighting bathing it all. Oh wow. Yeah, we saw the skeleton of a giant earlier. I don't think we'd see one. They called the Green Knight a giant, but he was like 7 foot, you know, he wasn't like these. These are like towering over the mountains. And they're all women as well.
Hey!
Can the fox like communicate with them? Looks like one's like holding a baby.
Run!
Is it someone he knows?
Welcome!
He said friend, but was it just he was asking if he was a friend? Oh wow. That's a cool shot. It's like the bed's extending into infinity, but it was just like the drapes, wasn't it, around?
It is December the 21st.
So he's got 4 more days.
Sir Gawain.
Oh, so he knows who he is.
Only slept through the night. I know more than just your name. You must eat. See, upon the new year.
Is this his cousin? Is this the prince?
I will hunt. You shall rest. Every table in this land has heard of you.
Yeah.
The finest and most virtuous knight seeking his destiny across these lands.
How long will he stay with us?
I must make my appointment.
What's with their food? It looked like a egg had a plant growing out of it. And then their pies had a little stick in them as well.
Here is what will happen. On Christmas morn, we will send you on your way.
There's this woman where she has her eyes blindfolded. Is she like a seer? She can see into the future. And that's what she's seen. You can't help but be suspicious, you know.
Should not tonight offer Our Lady a kiss in thanks?
Yeah, she's definitely into him.
I've had my portrait made already.
Not by me.
This might just be trying to waste the time, you know?
Hold very still.
Oh, a camera obscura. That's cool. There's some cool imagery as well, him being portrayed upside down there. Does she have like something photosensitive there to project the image onto?
It's a token.
For what? For good luck?
Oh, jealousy, yeah. That's really cool. The camera obscura, so primitive version of photography, you know?
In turn, whatever you might receive here.
But why green? Why not blue?
Because he's not of this earth.
But green is the colour of earth.
Of rot.
Yes.
But rot could be seen as things returning to Earth, you know?
Should have come creeping up the cobbles. We scrub it out fast as we can.
Yeah, it's kind of the green representing nature. It's inevitable.
Whilst we're off looking for red, in comes green. Moss shall cover your tombstone, and as the sun rises, green shall spread over all.
Send your coins, send your battlements, and try as you might, all you hold.
This is very ominous now. It's almost like she's possessed by someone else. Yeah, and look, it's all taken over by green. He's going to start to see green everywhere, perhaps.
You do this one thing. You return home a changed man.
Yeah, it's not just one experience that changes you, it's all of your experiences.
In witchcraft, do you believe in it?
Well, his mother is a witch, isn't she? Oh.
Where did you get that?
Wear it and you will never be struck down.
Did she make an identical one, or was she part of the process of making the first one? Did she know the mother? Do like all of the kind of witches who can perform the witchcraft kind of know each other kind of thing? That might be ruining the conditions of the game, him having something enchanted that stops him from being struck down.
I must make my appointment.
Ah, on your own after all. What of our game?
I don't want your games, or your gifts, or your kindness.
I can take it from you.
Was it like he kind of knew that the lady wanted to be with Gawain? She obviously kissed him, and that was him taking it back? Is that what that was? A beheading at the Green Chapel. So that could be him, but that could be the Green Knight as well. This yellow fog is really cool. That's a colour we haven't seen before. You know, we've seen a lot of reds and greens. Does the yellow represent Gawain himself? Because obviously he has his very yellow robe, very iconic. Knows that it's a trap.
I cannot tarry.
Oh, that way in your doom is at hand.
Okay.
No mercy.
I think I recognise the voice. It reminds me of something from like Harry Potter. His robe looks almost red here now. I've seen a lot of red imagery throughout this as well. When the Green Knight first entered, one of the characters had this red energy, and then when he was in the water as well, there was all of that red lighting. There's definitely some significance with all of the colours here, you know. Oh, that's a great shot. Yeah, you can't even really tell it's a chapel, it just looks like a forest. Okay, so he's been waiting there for a while. He's almost overgrown, it's like these vines are wrapping around him. Finally awakening.
You came.
He seems surprised that he came, or like appreciative that he came.
Do you recall where you cut me?
I do.
And have you come to see that blow return?
See, the Green Knight's beheading didn't kill him, so it wouldn't be an equal exchange.
You flinch.
I don't.
Well, yeah, of course you would, facing death.
I'm not so confident. Is this really all there is?
You thought it was like a bigger ritual than this.
What else ought there be?
It's going to be seen as too cowardly, though. Only self-preservation is your natural will, isn't it? So that's his horse. Did the other guy, the scavenger guy, Barry Keoghan, did he come here? Oh, he's just returning home. Returning home ashamed? Oh, he's still okay. Okay. But will the Green Knight return? Will there be consequence of this? He's still wearing the green belt. So do they all think that he's returned victorious, you know? They're gonna knight him, but he hasn't really earned it. And he becomes the new king. But look, there's green on the crown, you know? It's exactly what the lady was saying before. The green will always return. Got a tear in his eye, but I don't know if that's, you know, a tear of happiness or something else. He doesn't look happy, yeah. He's like half in shadow, isn't he? What's happening? They took the baby away? So he's not even marrying Essel with someone else. But Essel still had his child. Yeah, that stays on. It's like always protecting him, he feels. Oh, there again. Is it supposed to be a fox with a human face? Like that talking fox that he met before? Gave him the warning not to go and meet the Green Knight. He looks older now, yeah, he's got grey in his beard. He's hated by his people. Definitely kind of like a fall from grace. Oh, and even the photo of him has turned green. Yeah, it's all just shrouded in green here. Okay, so he's just being left here on his own, just with his mother? Or is she leaving him behind as well? He's being overthrown finally. Oh, is he finally going to take it off and accept his death? It's almost like it's a part of him at that point. It feels like he's like pulling out an internal organ or something. Oh, and his head just falls off like that. That was all a vision.
Wait.
He's going to take it off so it can't protect him, yeah.
Now I'm ready.
Well done, my brave knight.
Has he like passed the test, as it were?
Off with your head.
They're not going to actually show us if he gets beheaded or not, because you can interpret that as off with your head or like off your head, like leave, because he was like pointing. Okay, so that was The Green Knight. Obviously, there's a lot here that's up for interpretation. I'm going to try and do my best. First off, I really love all of the cinematography. There's very obviously some theming here going around with the lighting. You know, we had all of the green lighting. I think that very obviously represents nature and kind of time and the passing of time, and then also the Green Knight. And then we have some scenes that are kind of bathed in red, and then some that are yellow. I'm not quite sure what the red means. I think maybe it could be something to do with magic or spirits. We only really saw it twice. It was when the Green Knight entered the room. There was this red energy around this one guy. We also saw it when Gawain was swimming, trying to find Winifred's head. So I'm not quite sure the symbolism of that one. And then we also saw some yellow lighting when Gawain had finally got to the Green Knight in the Green Chapel. And I think that was kind of, the yellow is kind of his colour, you know, he has his yellow cloak. I think that kind of symbolises him. It was like his moment of judgment, wasn't it? Well, it feels like the whole movie is kind of this moment of judgment for him. He's kind of earning his respect as a knight throughout the whole film. That's what the Lord was saying at one point. Is it one experience that changes you? He thought that him just going to the Green Knight and facing his destiny would be the experience that changes him, but it's kind of your whole life that does that. And we see throughout the movie there's kind of multiple moments where he learns different lessons. It is kind of like different lessons and tests that he learns throughout the movie. We kind of had the first one with Berkion, the scavenger, where he was scavenging all of these bodies and then gave him gave him directions. And I think that test was kind of gratefulness. You know, he never offered anything in return and he never was even grateful. He just kind of went on his way after. So it was kind of a lesson in thanks and a lesson in gratefulness. And then after that we had Winifred, who that seemed like, you know, he was going to help find her head, but he wanted something in return. So that was kind of like a test of selflessness, you know, wanting to do something and not expecting anything in return. And then there's the giants, which I'm not quite sure. I think maybe it could be a test in like laziness or like a lesson about laziness, because he wanted to let them take him the rest of the way. He was like, let me just hop on your shoulder and we'll go. So maybe that's what that lesson was there. You know, it seems like there's these very distinct points, different encounters that each teach him something new, you know. Then there's the Lord and the Lady. It seems like with the Lord, it was kind of the truth. I think the Lord kind of knew that the Lady was into him and everything. He kind of knew everything that happened. That's why he took the kiss back, because they had the deal. It was, I'll give you all of this food and things, and you will give me anything that you get. So he took the kiss. And then with the Lady, it was kind of, you know, a lesson in temptation. I think a lot of the time we see him, he kind of falls for temptation. At the start of the movie, we see, you know, he's drunk and he's in a brothel. He's very much not fit to be king. And part of me feels like this whole thing is his journey learning how to be a good king, or like a good knight and a good person in general. And then the final encounter is with the Green Knight, and that's kind of like this test of his honor. Will he take off the magical belt, the magical sash, and face his fate properly, or will he keep it on and remain invulnerable? And we kind of see, he kind of sees into the future what would happen if that was the case, and his kingdom's all in ruin, and then he takes it off and it kind of leaves it open. Did the Green Knight behead him? Did that kind of appease the Green Knight, and that proved to him that he was worthy of being a king? You know, we see that the mother had a plan she like played a part in summoning the Green Knight. So I'm wondering if this whole thing was like a test from the mother, because she must have known that he was going to become king eventually. So was that all kind of a test for him to like prove himself and make himself into a good man so he would be a good king? You know, she kind of, we saw at the start she didn't really approve of him because he hadn't gone to church and things like that on Christmas Eve. So I think this whole thing could have been a test by her, or like her setting him up for a better future. And we did see Winifred, she said the Green Knight is someone you know, so that could be meaning the mother. But I feel like that could also mean himself. He was kind of like facing himself, having to face his own ego. And we saw like with that vision, he couldn't face his own ego. He returned to his kind of life of comfort and sin, as it were, and how that kind of led to his downfall. There was also the fox. I'm not quite sure with the fox exactly what it meant. You know, the fox kind of gave him a warning before he finally visited the Green Knight, but I'm not really sure the significance through that. He did act kind of as a guide and as a companion through some of this journey, but then when it kind of came to the final step, he was like, this is too far, don't do this. So maybe the fox was also part of the test of, you know, him turning back, because he could have turned back at the fox, but then he didn't, and then he could have turned back when he was about to be beheaded, but didn't. Eventually he took off the belt. So it was kind of like a two-stage thing of him facing the Green Knight, facing this ego, facing himself. And you know, at the start of the movie we see this kind of call to action. At the start he is very living this kind of life of comfort. He wants to change that, it seems. You know, he has no stories to tell. He couldn't tell any stories to the king, and this was like his opportunity to make something of his life. You know, it's all just a series of tests and a series of lessons. I think the first test he passed is actually going out on this adventure, because he could have stayed home and not even go to find the Green Knight. Part of me does wonder why he even beheaded the Green Knight in the first half, because I thought it was pretty clear. Whatever you do to him, he will do to you in return the next year. So he could have just like cut his cheek. He could have just, you know, done like a tiny bit of damage and then have that returned onto him. That's kind of like the first test he failed, because he didn't need to behead him, did he? But we see the Green Knight, he does kind of tempt him in with that. He kind of moves his head into a position where he can do it very easily. So he kind of gives in to that temptation, I guess. And we see at the start of the movie, he's quite egotistical and he gives in to all of these different temptations. So it kind of fits his character at the start. And this is all, you know, his growth throughout the film. I really liked his kind of vision of the future, of this kind of failed future. But I am glad that wasn't how it ended, because I was very confused. It made a bit more sense, that being just like a vision, and then him is still open-ended. But I liked the ending more than if it had just ended with him being beheaded when he took the sash off. So it seems like that sash, does it only protect you while you wear it? So if he had taken it off, all of his injuries would have returned. So if he had been cut in the arm, he took it off and his cut in the arm came back, and that's why his head fell off when he took it off in that scene. You know, and we see throughout his whole life, he just always leaves it on. He never takes it off for anything, and he kind of wears it as this kind of superstitious act of protection. He kind of leads quite a fearful life in that sense, where he never takes it off. He's always scared to take it off. When it came to the giants, I did notice they were all women, and there was one that had a baby. And when I kind of make notes as I go along, I did make note of them kind of representing motherhood. And then he tries to get them to act as a guide for him. And then there's my theory that this was all set up by the mother. Maybe that's what it means. You know, the mother was a guide for him and she was setting the path for him to become a good knight. Is that kind of what that scene with the giants kind of meant and foretold? Maybe that's what that was. I was really expecting when the lady gave him his book, that book would be the story of him, because she said she likes to write books and tell tales. I thought it would be like a story of him, and maybe the last few pages of the book would be blank, or she tried to like predict what would happen next. But I think it was just kind of a different story, wasn't it? And I thought her whole camera obscura thing, that was really cool. And we see later the image had kind of faded into green, again representing the kind of passage of time and the Green Knight kind of taking over. Yeah, I think him kind of taking off the belt kind of proved to the Green Knight that he was worthy, and then he didn't flinch again after that. I don't think, did we really see the arrow come down? We didn't really see it come down. We just heard he said, "Off with your head," and it ends there. So I don't really know if he flinched again after that, but he seemed quite determined after that and kind of ready to face his fate at that point. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. A lot of great imagery, great filmmaking here. Some great performances as well. I love Barry Keoghan's little role here, even though he wasn't in it much, he was great in this. And then Dev Patel obviously did a great job. Some great visuals and storytelling as well. Just obviously, I don't think this would be for everyone, but I really enjoyed it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, consider leaving a like or a comment. And if you really loved it, be sure to subscribe or even check out the Patreon, where you can get early access, full-length timer-based reactions and polls so you can vote for what's next. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.